A lot of us feel trapped in jobs we don't enjoy, counting down to Friday, dreading Monday, and feeling like the 9 to 5 is draining the life out of us. But what if that same job that you feel trapped in could be the same thing that helps you buy your freedom? So in today's video, I'm going to talk through how you can use your job rather than feel like you're being used by your job, and how even if you don't want to do it forever, your job could still be the vehicle that helps move you towards having more freedom and choice, which is something I had to learn for myself. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Pav. I'm a chartered accountant who spent over a decade working in finance in London before taking a 30% pay cut and doing a job I enjoy instead. And it was only when I learned how to use my job differently that I created the freedom to make that change. I think when you're in a job that isn't necessarily your passion or you don't enjoy, it's easy to get stuck in the cycle of resenting your job. You start to focus on the pressure, the long hours, the monotonous routine, the office politics, and I know because I've been there. In my 20s, working in finance, I had the nice car, the nice suits, designer clothes, the gadgets, fancy dinners, and on the outside, I looked successful. But inside, I felt completely trapped. And the turning point came one Monday morning when I had a panic attack and I couldn't face going into work. But I had no choice. I had to go in. And that's when I realized how little freedom I truly had. And that's the danger of living on autopilot. You just drift through life and it happens without you even realizing. You spend your money the same way your colleagues do. You chase promotions you don't even want. And on the outside, you can look successful. But if the way you spend your money and your choices aren't intentional, you wake up one day and realize you're stuck in a job and stuck in a lifestyle that you didn't even choose for yourself, which is what happened to me and exactly where I was 5 years ago. But that all changed for me the day I had that panic attack because of one small shift I made, which was I created a vision for the kind of life I want for myself outside of my job, which was to have more freedom. Freedom to choose how I spent my time and the freedom to walk away from a career I wasn't enjoying anymore. And having that vision completely changed how I looked at my job. Because when you have a vision, your job becomes a tool. Instead of it feeling like a prison, it becomes a privilege. Not because I loved the work all of a sudden, but because I could see how I could use it to get to something better. And I was able to use my career in finance to invest and build a property portfolio that eventually allowed me to take that 30% pay cut and walk away. So one question I'd ask is, what does that vision look like for you? When you have a vision that is specific to you and what you want for your life, it allows you to shift your mindset from feeling like you're being used by your job to you actually using your job. And that is why having that clarity of vision is so important, because without clarity, your job feels like a trap. But with clarity, when you know what matters most to you, that same job feels very different. Every payslip suddenly has a purpose and it becomes a stepping stone and a vehicle that will eventually give you more options. I think when you're in it, it's also really easy to focus on the negatives like the long hours, the commute, maybe the office politics, and we overlook some of the benefits that we end up taking for granted. So things like employer pension contributions, where a lot of employers will pay into your pension if you do too, and a lot of them will match what you put in, which is essentially free money. A lot of companies also offer private healthcare for you and your family, and many of them also have training budgets as well, where they'll fund some learning and development you may want to do, which not a lot of people take advantage of. Which is where shifting your mindset from thinking, this job is terrible, I feel stuck, I can't wait to get out of here, and having a victim mindset where you feel like you're being used, to being empowered and thinking, I will use this opportunity and take everything I can from it to help me build the life I want and get myself to where I want to be. Because the truth is, your job doesn't have to be the enemy, and you don't have to do it forever. But while you're there, use it instead of letting it use you. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and you may want to check out this video where I talk through the first 3 practical steps that you can take to get that clarity and start creating the life you want for yourself. And I'll leave the link for that over here.